Waste management has become a global challenge. Everywhere around the world, experts speak of the potential risks associated with poor waste management and the harm this will bring to the environment if it continues unabated. In Nigeria, waste is still badly disposed of, leading to environmental pollution and health problems. Careless dumping of refuse, roadside litter, failure to recycle recyclables, and garbage burning are common practices in this part of the world. This makes one wonder if the vast majority of people are aware of the potential risks of poor waste disposal and its effect on society.
I would say the biggest risk that emerges from lack of recycling or waste management in any society would be environmental pollution and its associated risks. Now, environmental pollution in itself is a bigger risk, but there are some associated risks. And there are three of them that I'm going to mention. The first one would be the health effects that is potentially generated from the lack of recycling opportunities. The second thing that I will mention would be mental imbalances. I think the last one would be the socio-economic effects of that. In communities or societies where recycling is a culture, there is a potential to generate employment opportunities. And in one way or the other, we can reduce unemployment or unemployability from that kind of situation.
When it comes to the issue of keeping the environment clean, it's not for the government alone. Everybody have a part to play. Like I always tell people that the planet Earth is God's gift to man. What we do with it is our own gift back to God.
Based on the current realities, there is a clear gap based on the area of infrastructure and effective waste management. And that is really the role that organizations like us come in to actually support the governments to be able to bridge this gap.
While non-government organizations and foundations dedicated to waste management continue to penetrate specific communities to raise awareness on waste management and recycling, ignorance and language barriers sometimes play a huge part in obstructing this behavioral change.
It took us about 5 months to actually penetrate most of these communities. And the major issue we're having with the communities was, ignorance. A lot of people thought, we're a political affiliated organization, so there was a lot of resistance, And some other people, some of the communities, they were a bit violent. Some of them felt threatened because when they see new people, they are always on guard. So we had to, go back to some of these communities. Some of the communities we couldn't even penetrate at all, so we had to leave some of the communities. And the language barrier was also something, that hindered us as well, and the mindset of some of these people. We went deep into communities, we went deep into villages, and they believe, some of them have this religious belief that whatever you put in the ocean, the God of the ocean will take it away and clean it for them. So we went into some of these communities and we saw them literally throwing, their waste into the ocean, and they told us in Yoruba that the God of the ocean will clean it up for them, and we started to change that mindset gradually, and yes, it was a success.
Kò ní fa ìdọ̀tí, ó máa ń kí ìdọ̀tí mọ́, gbogbo ilẹ̀ wa máa mọ́, kò ní sí wípé à ń dúró dé àwọn waste nǹkan tó wà kó.
The Coca-Cola Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the Coca-Cola Company, and this foundation is responsible for initiating several key humanitarian activities that have pulled considerable impact globally. And every year, the Coca-Cola Company sets aside 1% of the operating income, and through which the Coca-Cola Foundation then provides grants and fund initiatives across the world with special focus on empowering women, developing the communities, and protecting the environment as a whole.
The Coca-Cola Foundation, being the philanthropic arm of the company, has invested way over $3 million across multiple NGOs to make sure that the awareness and driving behavioral change that is required for people to actually understand that their plastic bottles are actually valued as wealth, rather than seeing it as waste.
I've enjoyed it because I feel that this thing is turning your wealth to wealth, turning your waste to wealth. To me, it's fun. Although I work, if I'm going to work in the morning, I carry my bag, I pick my plastic, if I'm coming back, I come back with it. So I feel that it has helped me a lot. And my children, they're going back to school, they're in public school. I'll use my card, I'll go and collect provisions like milk, below, cornflakes, sugar for them. Instead of buying it, I'll go to the company and collect it through my aim, my card, what I have aimed for that month.
But more day, Koni, she told me this in the stadium. Stadium is one beautiful shirt. And Timatulilo, in your Matuloban, a job, money shirt. Kishi, and you have to some pay, water, pay shimmy, Manisa, me water, he shed money, big toilet job, toilet finish. I went to a pay on the finish one money, and your mouth from you. But any tova, any Elumia to Banaba, and pay, he padawasi or don't keep you. Moi, Ojo Keta, Ojo Kerry, Ojo Kanu, moi pas Daddy Company, donc ni honorable Sam, moi va parler du stadium, moi va parler du stadium. Moi le bas un peu eza, money di iche, puis money di marché, so that malé malo spend it our bill. On y ok, puis qui font ni number. Mo fún wọn wá fún mi ní owó náà pé kí n fi jẹun ní ọjọ́ yẹn mo wá pè wọ́n pé sà ẹ̀yẹ̀ wá gbàgbé mi pé iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ wọ́n á ní kí n wá sí Jim Robert mo ṣe lọ bẹ̀ mí mo sáwọn òde ibẹ̀ wọ́n á ní kí n padà wá ìgbà tí mo wá padà wá mo wá bá barrister Clip mo ìbá wọn padà nìyẹn àwọn ló ṣáà ẹ̀pù tó ràn mí lọ́wọ́ tí mo fi wà nígbà ilé ni.
Àǹfààní tí mo ti jẹ níwọ̀n ìgbà tí mo darapọ̀ mọ́ wọn ẹ̀mẹ́ta tí mo kó wá owó tán fún mi mo fi já bottle water àti minerals sínú ṣọ́ọ̀bù mi ó dẹ̀ lọ sókè sí.
Sunana Abubakar, Yusuf Abubakar. Shekara ta 4 na aiki da su Blessy. Shekara kuma 20 kuma na 20. Yes, gaskiya ina business da wannan goran ne, muna business da wannan gora. Kuma a cikin gore ina ci, ina sha, ina taimaka ma yan uwana kuma da sauran mahaifana. Kuma ina yin sabgogi na wanda na gefe wanda ba na takura mu wani ba. Na gode ma Allah cikin wannan kasuwa da nake yi. Thank God for God.
Beyond sensitizing people in urban and rural communities across Nigeria, the Coca-Cola Company and its bottling partner, Nigeria Bottling Company, with funding from its philanthropic arm, the Coca-Cola Foundations, have been instrumental in combating the barriers created by ignorance and mistrust over the years. While Coca-Cola is supporting these recycling and community development initiatives, its activities are empowering women, providing employment opportunities for young people, creating wealth, and reducing environmental degradation.
Because the Recycle Space project is all about you trying to create a system whereby parents that don't have money to pay for their children's school fees can have an alternative. So you will not have kids that are out of school because they don't have money to pay for school fees. If not for God's mercy, I would have also been out of school because at a point, my dad couldn't afford to pay my own school fees. I can still remember very, very well. But thank God for mercy and for God, I was able to maneuver my way. When we started far back in 2019, thereabout, Nigeria was number one when it comes to the nation with the largest number of out-of-school children. Nigeria was number one on that list then. And it was over 13 million thereabout kids that were out of school at that time. So we just, for what little impact can we make to reduce the number and get more kids back to school? That was where the idea came up. And so we just partnered with the low-income school in Achegule to implement this thing.
From our observations, we've discovered that especially for the waste speakers, they work and live in deplorable conditions. If you go to the dump sites, most of them live on this dump site. The living conditions are not just, it's not healthy, it's not hygienic for anyone at all. And then when they work with their bare hands without protective gear. So they are exposed to lots of injuries and diseases. They could get cuts that a regular person would have, get treated and they'll be fine. But because of the exposure that the things they're exposed to, most of them end up getting killed from minor cuts. So we decided to come up with this initiative as a way of reaching out to them, of making them feel valued and seen. So through the initiative, we provide them with health and safety training, where we teach them the proper way to go about their work in a safer, more conducive environment. We also give them financial literacy training about how to save, why saving is important, and also financial inclusion by opening bank accounts for them where they can save money from their peaked waste. That way, they can provide a better quality of life for themselves and their family members.
Project Dory was able to bring an infrastructure, which is a Dory bean, alongside the incentives, which is the payments that people get from turning in their waste to us. So people have the knowledge and dedication to collect, and they have an infrastructure to turn the material into, and they also get the value that they deserve or they desire fairly, for the value of the material, the volume of material they turn in. So providing this sensitization, providing the infrastructure, and also providing the value, monetary value, economic value. All these things work together to push the people to see the need or to actually capture the value in their waste, and also change their behavior around the waste that they generate, recyclable waste that they generate. Like now in Owerri, people know that if you drink Coke, the empty PET bottle of Coke, you have to turn it for recycling to get the value from it.
So plastic recycling is one part of the whole circular economy value chain. So we have other activities that are actually springing up. So when we call recycling is an aspect. There's another aspect called upcycling, where you just have to be able to take a material and actually put it in another use. And it is something that is also gaining traction in the economy. And we believe that all these had to come together for us to be able to see the value, tap the value that is in it, so that it will, expanding it will inform even an increase in GDP, providing employment for a lot of people that are hanging out there that don't have work. So we believe that what needs to be done with waste is a lot. People are actually leveraging waste now to create art. And, those kind of arts, I would believe, can go a long way to even attracting, foreigners to come in here to actually look at how we are doing this. So I believe that all actually has a role to play in the drive to facilitate circular economy, and that's what we are pushing aggressively at Recycle Points and leveraging the Project Revive project to do.
With all the obvious risk of poor waste management, the big question is, how do individuals contribute to creating a world without waste and generate revenue from participating in recycling initiatives?
Before SYA started in 2020, we found a lacuna in our ecosystem, in the recycling ecosystem in Nigeria, especially the coastal communities. Most of these women are in villages. Most of them know about recycling, but they don't know how to go about it. They don't even know who to sell to. And most of these people, because there's so much, they now decide to burn their waste, which leads to carcinogenic toxins in the environment. These women are actually nursing mothers, or some of them are even pregnant, and it affects the health of the unborn children. And that is why we decided to empower these women, not just teach them, but empower them and the young people in the community as well.
Ɗaya ne daga cikin friend na shine ta je wurina a can inda ina kasuwa, sai ta ce a'a ai akwai recycling kusa da ke a nan, ki je mana kuna haɗa kai da su. So da na zo sai na same su, suka ce suna siya bottle water, suna siya kuma empty can da carton. So in na tara in dinga kawo musu. So a haka muka fara. Suna zuwa in kawo mu yi weight din shi a nan kuma su yi min transfer ta account na. So gaskiya na ji daɗin business din sosai.
I came to hear about recycling. It was 2012 when Ayo was in Amuwa, the full local government first time. So I went there to look for a job. So they said the only opportunity they have there was people that would sweep the road. Road sweepers. So the madam, for me not to be doing anything in 2012, I decided to join them. The woman there now instructed us that we'll be getting 2 bags of rubber for her every day. As we are sweeping the road, we should be picking it. So being a sensible woman, I was like, what are you doing using that rubber for? So she didn't tell me. So I started disturbing her. I want to know what you're doing. How can I be bringing 2 bags of rubber for you every day? So she see how anxious I was about it. She now called me and told me to Mazocon that they have office at Yaba, but they do come to First Act. So that is why. So when I started doing it, I found out that he paid me more, because government pays us 15,000 a month for sweeping the road. So I resigned from that one and I joined this. So that's why I started. That's 2012.
For the Cash for Trash initiative, you can see the hub behind me. With sponsorship, in partnership with the Coca-Cola Foundation, we've established 8 of these recycling hubs in 7 communities, 7 of them here in Abuja and 1 of them in Lagos. So people from the local communities, the waste pickers in the local communities can just take their waste to the hub and they get paid for them, whatever value it is. Then apart from that, we also empower women in the communities where we set up our hubs to be to earn money from their waste. So waste in the environment, they can just bring them to us. They get paid for it. So it's a source of livelihood for those who are looking to make some extra cash on the side. Through the Cash for Trash, we've been able to provide full-time employment for 18 people and part-time employment for 900 persons, which makes a total of 918 people empowered through the initiative.
Yeah, the Waste in the City initiative is a community-driven waste management, recyclable waste management initiative that is designed to take recyclable waste management to the people, bringing it closer to the people to bridge the gap that is existing, that is noticeable within the sector. The truth is that a lot of people, there's been this argument that people are not embracing the recycling culture. People have said, have given reasons for this. We conducted a short study of the situation, and we found out that there are some critical reasons why people have not entirely embraced the recycling sector or the recycling business. We found out amongst many other issues or amongst many other challenges that there are no recyclable waste collection hubs around people's vicinity. We found out that within walking distances, you can't find where you can drop off your recyclables. So we thought that we should bridge that gap. We also found out that there is the challenge of lack of awareness, lack of knowledge, lack of education on the part of the people. Because if the people are environmentally conscious, if they are aware of the prevailing situations in terms of environmental pollution, they will not continue with the kind of lifestyle that they have been exhibiting.
As a better future for the environment beckons, the Coca-Cola Company comes with more interesting plans to impact lives through recycling projects and create a world without waste.
As a total beverage company, the Coca-Cola Company is committed to doing business the right way. And in 2018, we launched our World Without Waste vision, which seeks that by 2030, we will help to collect and recycle every bottle or can that we put out there. And in that same milestone, we will be making sure that 100% of all our packages are recyclable globally. And these efforts are aimed at creating the shared values for the communities that we operate in and addressing the challenges that we face as a system and as a business globally. And our communities and our consumers can always expect that we will continue to partner in solving some of these topical problems that have been the things that we live in today.
Today we have the first food-grade recycled policy in Nigeria. And that has driven required infrastructure and investment. The first bottle-to-bottle recycling facility is going to come up in 2022. That is a long haul of engagement with the government and making sure that at least we have food-grade policy in place. So we are excited about that new opportunity. It's a whole lot of job creation for youths and for the economy as well. We're looking forward for more and more plastic to be recycled based on that new industry.